I mean, you're raised conservative. I mean, it's kind of natural, I guess, to kind of rebel a little bit, but what methods did they use to kind of brainwash you into thinking that you got to change everything that you've come to know as reality?
Well, I think first this idea that I was raised in a conservative household. Conservative means something different today than it did even just a few years ago. Conservative really was just normal, traditional American. We celebrate the 4th of July. Now that's really radical if you are proud to be an American. So when I got on campus, it was very quickly that you kind of had to shed your former self, right? We had some ritualistic things like, you know, students would cut their hair, they'd change their clothes. I know, and kind of
like a ritual? Like everyone got together and like, you know, I got together with my girlfriends and we would do each other's hair, but we didn't make it like a ritual or anything.
It was meant to be a fun bonding experience, right? We called it the Moho chop. That was the term.
The Moho chop.
And I was told as soon as I walked on that I shouldn't assume someone's gender. So it's this ideology being pushed on me as soon as I walk on campus. And I'm young, I'm 18, I'm impressionable. I don't even know what this means. I haven't heard non-binary yet. Okay, what's that? This is kind of different. And then it's every textbook you're given, every class that you take has some, I mean, critical race theory and critical theory has now penetrated into every single subject. It's not like it's just philosophy as maybe it used to be on the fringes of academia. It's in everything. It's in every history U classes. Now it's not just history, it's how were the evil colonists responsible for ruining the foundation of this country, right? Columbus was a genocidal maniac. You know, that's what we're taught. We're taught revisionist history, and it's in literally everything. It's in every aspect.
So you were brainwashed, and then you come out and you think you need to like change the world. That you've had this epiphany, and because you were brainwashed, like almost like a cult kind of thing.
Totally like a cult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without absolutely.
How do you like discover like, oh no, like when did you have this like awakening, as you put it, which I thought was beautiful, that you realized that this is crazy town?
It starts with when you get to school, there's no room for God. And so that's a big part of my story, is that it's edged out immediately. You can't believe in anything bigger than yourself. After I graduated in 2018, during the Gillum campaign, when I actually moved back to Florida, I made some lifestyle changes. So for me, I ended up getting sober. The reason I say that is because 60% of millennials take some sort of drug every single day. And the majority of them are taking anxiety or depression medication.
Is it that high?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Did you know that? Yeah, of course
I
you
was
did.
a part of that statistic. So for me, I had to literally be sober-minded. I had to think clearly. I had to remove all substances to see things. Then I started to believe in a higher power again. It didn't necessarily have to be a religious God, but it was just something bigger. It was like, okay, I'm not in control anymore. So that removed some of the chains of the ideology, because it really is like a cult, and it's all consuming. It's everything you do. You're thinking about this. And then in 2020, I was home, and because we were all locked down, and I was looking on my echo chamber of social media, and everyone was saying, you know, Black Square, right as your First Amendment, burn it down. And finally I thought to myself, well, this doesn't make sense. How is burning down business empowering people? And lo and behold, actually, this is amazing, a PragerU video popped into my newsfeed, and it was called, Are the Police Racist? And in the first 30 seconds, the moderator gave this statistic. She said 12% of white and Hispanic homicides are death by police, whereas only 4% of Black Americans die by police. And I was kind of like, oh, well, that doesn't really make sense, because I thought it would have been 70% of Black Americans are being killed by the police based on this narrative of BLM. So kind of from there is when the light started to flicker on, and then I was like, okay, issue by issue, I gotta unlearn everything that I was taught in those 4 years that I was at school.